Hi class, welcome back to your language skills lessons. Please take out the red language skills packet from your school bin. Today we'll be working on page 271 to 272. We'll be focusing on reading short E and short O words, as well as reviewing some sight words. Page 271 looks like this. You'll see in the bottom corner the numbers 271. If you've been dog-ear folding down your pages as we go, you should be able to pick up all of the dog-ear folds, pull them over to your left-hand side, and you should be left with page 271. If you need some help, pause the video and go find an adult or an older sibling to help you find your spot. Please begin by writing your name and number on the top line. Make sure you write with neat handwriting. We're going to review how to read the short E and short O. I'm going to be showing you a couple symbols today to show short E and short O. Whenever a letter needs to have its sound short, and we want to talk about that for our learning, we write a little scooped line above the letter to show that it's supposed to be read short. Whenever we want the letter to be read long, we write a straight line across it for the long sound. Let's practice the short sound and the long sound for the letter E. Short sound for E says eh, eh, eh. Can you practice that with me? Eh, eh, eh. Excellent work. The long sound for the letter E sounds like this. E, E, E. Would you practice that with me 3 times? E, E, E. Great work. We're going to be working on sounding out words that have a short E in the middle of the word. So we won't need that long sound today. We're going to look at the picture and create the word by adding a beginning sound. I see so far the sounds are eh, n, n. I see a group of men. What letter could I add to the front of eh, n to make it into m-n, men? We should use the letter M. Please write a letter M in the first box. Then cross it off from the word bank. We won't need that letter again. Next, I see the word part, eh, n, n again, and this time I see a picture of a hen. Which letter do I need to add to the front of N to make it into hen? Very good. I should add an H. The letter H says the letter H would make N turn into hen. Next, this little boy's name is Dot. I see the word part, ought, ought. Although that's not a short E, we're going to practice it anyways for a review. What would I need to add in front of ought to make it into dot? Good, I should add the letter D. Since it's the boy's name, it's going to get a capital D. Make sure you write a capital D in front of ought to make it into dot. Excellent work, class. Now we're going to read the sentence and pick which word should go on the handwriting line. If you think you can do this part without my help, you can go ahead and pause the video. If you'd like my help, then continue watching with me. I see the blank. If I put the word men on this line, would that make sense? I see the men. Yes, it does. Let's write lowercase letters M-E-N to complete the sentence. Men. I see the men. Next part of the page, next sentence. Read with me, please. The blank sat and sat. The blank sat and sat. Would it make sense to write the word hen on the handwriting line? Yes, the hen sat and sat. The hen is sitting on her eggs, trying to help her babies to grow from eggs to chicks. The hen sat and sat. Make sure you're using lowercase letters. Only the letter H can come up to the hat. Everything else needs to be below the belt. All right, last but not least, let's read the last sentence. Blank and Dan have the pen. Would it make sense to say Dot and Dan have the pen? Sure. Dot is the boy's name. Dot. Dot. Dot and Dan have the pen. Great work. We're going to continue now on to the next page, but before we do, I have a couple things to review with you. We're going to review some sight words. These sight words we've learned in the past, but I wanted to review with you the sounds that they make so we know how to sound out the sight words. Now, most often, we call them sight words because we want to be able to read them just by sight. That's because a lot of them don't follow the normal rules of what sounds are supposed to sound like in words. So we call them sight words so that we're able to recognize them by sight. This first word, do you know what it is? She. She. She is made up of two sounds, sh and e. Notice that this is the long E, so I put a line above that E to remind us that we need to say the long E sound. E, sh, E, she is how we say this sight word. SH together makes a special sound. It doesn't say sah, it says sh. Another sight word we're going to review is the sight word said. Now, this sight word said does not make much sense in how we say the sounds. Although I hear it starts with this and ends with a duh, the middle sound is not an A or an I. The sight word said is sounded out like this. D, said. The middle AI in this word said is sounding like a short E instead of an A or an I. That's why it's one of our sight words. It doesn't follow the normal rules. Next we have the sight word play. Play is made of two main sounds. One is a blend of PL. PL together says pull. Can you say that? Pull, pull, pull. And then the last sound, A, is a long A sound. That's why I have a line above the A to remind us that it needs to be a long A sound instead of A. Pull, A, play. Great work. The last sight word we're going to be reviewing is the sight word the. The. The is made of two sounds. One is the digraph TH. TH says, can you say that with me? The word the has the th sound and uh, like a U. But do you notice it's not written with a U? Uh, that's another reason it's one of our sight words. It does not follow the normal rules of our letter sounds. Now that we have reviewed those sight words, let's turn your page to page 272. We're going to be practicing writing and reading sentences that have the sight words she, said, play, and the. If you feel like you can do this on your own without my help, feel free to pause the video and you can put your packet away when you're done. Make sure that on number 4, you complete the sentence and draw a picture to match. If you'd like to work with me, keep the video playing and we'll work together. Let's read aloud number 1. I can play it, blank said. Which sight word would make the most sense? Would it make sense to say, I can play it, she said? Or I can play it, the said? The second one wouldn't make sense. It needs to be the sight word she. Would you write she on the handwriting line, please? I can play it, she said. Go ahead and cross off that sight word she. We won't be needing it again. Let's read number 2. Read with me, please. I can blank it, she said. Which sight word would make the most sense in that blank spot? Would it make sense to say, I can said it, she said? Or I can play it, she said? I can play it makes much more sense. So let's write the sight word play on this handwriting line. P-L-A-Y. Make sure you're using lowercase letters all below the belt. The only one that can rise all the way to the top is the L. Then go ahead and cross off the sight word play. We won't need that again for this page. Number 3. Let's read number 3 aloud together. She blank. I can play the guitar. Would it make sense to say, she said I can play the guitar? Or I can play the guitar? She said I can play the guitar makes much more sense. Let's write the sight word said on the handwriting line. Make sure you're using lowercase letters, S-A-I-D, all below the belt. The only one that gets to rise all the way to the top is the letter D, but the bumpy part should be below. Last one, number 4. Read with me. And I said I can play blank. And then we need to choose what we can play. So maybe I can play the piano and I draw a piano, or I can play the drums and I could draw drums. We need to put in the last sight word, the, on this handwriting line to make the sentence complete. And I said I can play the, T-H-E, the. I can play the, and to make the sentence complete, we need to finish it. I'm going to finish my sentence with a picture of a drum because when I was your age, I started learning how to play the drums. Drew a little drum with some drumsticks on the top. I'll draw a picture of me playing the drums. You can either copy my picture or you can draw your own. All right, class, once you are finished with a picture to complete the sentence, you are all done with your language skills for today. Great work, and I'll see you tomorrow.